Welcome. Onto the stage, world champion and Olympic gold medalist, a Time 100 magazine top influencer for 2019, businesswoman and activist. Please welcome onto the stage, Caster Semenya. The ambitious woman that you are, the laser focus that you had as well. So I want you to take us back to, let's say, the first 2 decades of your career. And I think where it all started, as with Western publications, they'll say from the dusty streets of South Africa to Berlin, Germany, where you took on this Olympic gold medal. And of course, where the world got to be introduced to you and you were on this global stage.
Yeah, thanks. Hello, everyone. I like dust more than grass. So, yeah, if I were to talk about where I'm coming from, I can never stop. But I'll just summarize it in a few, words. I'm a fourth born of 6 at home, and I worked at 7 months. So that will explain to you why I'm fast. And growing up, I grew up around boys. Most of my cousins are boys. I was always in the bush. They spoke about bullied. Bullies to me, they never existed because how I responded to them, it was way, way rough. So I was one of those, young girls, that had no fear. I had goals. I think I knew that, everything I touch, it will turn into gold. My parents, obviously it comes, genetically. So my mom played netball. My dad was a soccer player. He could run fast too. Okay. So then, from age 4, I played football. I was a disc queen. My dad thought I would be, Imbanyana, but I disappointed him a lot because I had to sell my soccer boots and then I bought spikes instead. And then he was quite surprised, but I just told him, look, I'm chasing my dreams. I'm not going to be told what to do this time. But I think, athletics, it's my destiny, It's something that I think fulfills me. It's something that, makes me, feel free, When I'm on track, running, I think I forget about everything. But then amongst us, in the village, I was like 8. I would run, with under 10s because I always felt like, kids my age, I destroy them, and then when they go home, they'll feel, demoralized, by the likes of Caster. Oh, yeah. So I've decided, say, okay, I'm going to compete with, older, people. So then I started running under 10, when I was like under, 8. So then it worked perfectly for me because back then I was a sprinter. I started as a sprinter. I ran, 60 meters. And the 50 meters. And obviously it was only one girl who always gave me, a challenge. But I had to, work extra hard. When we were in the bush with my cousins, we will run on the sand. So when I run on the flat course, I will be, untouchable. So, going back to school, then I became, one of those athletes who were promising. And then, but either way, I liked, army. So at school, they'll say, because I play soccer good, and then what is it that you want to be, when you grow? I'll say I want to be a soldier, but then I'll get whipped because I play good soccer. So they'll say, no, you got to be a good soccer star. Right. But then, obviously, it also comes with how you're raised. I think my parents, they have raised me well. They've never questioned, what I do, or my feelings, how I see life. It was in a different way, they accepted me, for who I am, when I was still young. So they could see that this one is a little bit different, I don't like being in the kitchen, I like being in the garden, So those are the things that, I like the most. But, if I touch base on that, I just wanted to give you a background of why am I tough, why am I fearless, why I do not care about what other people think, you understand?
Right.
And those are the things that I think they did build me to be who I am today. And then moving from, the village, from preschool, getting to primary level. Of course, people always, try to bully me, but obviously realize, okay, this one is a visionary,
No, it
She's
never works.
she does not really care,
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
then, okay, that thing, empowered me a lot because I realized, okay, these guys, they play a good football, then now I have to also play a very, very good football with them. So they will always question, we don't want a girl, in the men's team because you're better than them. You have something that they don't have.
Yeah.
So you score more goals, you get recognition wherever you go, and then they start questioning, are you really a girl? And one day, I walk naked in the changing room. Yeah, because you have to clarify everything.
That'll show them.
So yeah, and then that's when they realize, oh, she's really a girl. She's just masculine, tough, deep voice, but they had fear because I could do things that they cannot do. But then walking into athletics, scene, it was more of looking into someone that someone you idolize, someone who's your role model, which is Maria Mutola. Of course, I've watched from young,
Yeah.
what she has accomplished.
Yeah.
She had like 21 years of career, and then I thought, I think I can do something, better than her, or probably I can walk in her footsteps, which is then I started taking it seriously, and I just moved away from football, focusedly train on athletics, which is, it was great. The teachers, they were encouraging. I was always around, male dominance. Even in training, I'll train with males so I can be better. But then, when you talk about, competing with men, in training, so some of the girls will be like, they will feel intimidated, which is, I think it helped me to be better. But then when I got to athletics in the world stage, where, I've started professionally because I've started from age 16, that's when, I've started to realize, there's a change, in the environment, most professionals, there will be a lot of questions. Now they start to ask you if you are running fast and so on. But to me, it didn't matter because at the end of the day, running fast does not come from genetics, it comes from working hard, because if you work hard, if you know what you're doing, I think it helps a lot.
And the science that Dr. Precious was talking about.
Yeah, of course, she spoke about science, which is, of course, it does help a lot. I did study sports science, which is, I understood everything, she explained. But then it was very easy for me, to be in the field because of knowing what I want. I get to the world stage, I run the fastest time in the world. Remember, I'm 18, and then you are a world leader by that time. Yeah. There are people who, they've been, predicting that they will win a world title. And then 1 month away from the world champs, you run a world lead. Out of nowhere. Probably for me, it was not out of nowhere because I ran world championships, world juniors, I ran Commonwealth Youth Games, which is I've won. I had 204 in that particular time.
Just probably, list all of them.
Probably it was the progression of my times, which is, I'm coming from a rural area. I didn't have coaches. We don't have coaching skills. We lack knowledge. We lack resources. Moving from a dusty place to Pretoria, then I had a great coach, which is he had establish a lot of things. He looked into my body. He knows what is it to improve, you know, in my body to be a better athlete, which is, it worked perfectly fine. And then you win probably before I win even the world title, there were a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Okay, at that particular time, you don't know what is it that they're talking about, but you could feel something is off here.
Yeah.
Whatever they're doing here, it's not really what I'm used to. You get questioned, you know, you get examined, and then you get told that you might not run. I said to the president of the ASA that particular time, whoever is going to stop me from running, he has to drag me out of the track.
Come on. Come on.
You need to drag me out, you understand?
Yeah.
And then he was like, but that's not in my control. I say, but then I'm in control then.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm an architect of my career, you know. I build my career, you know. I'm an engineer of what I do, of my life, you understand? I'm the one who builds my life. No one is going to tell me what to do in terms of decision making or running. Remember then I was still 18. I messed up everything. So, and then now I look back how I was raised. Now I look back. Now I'm saying, okay, what is it that I'm going to do, you know, to structure my story? What is it that I'm going to do to respond to people? What is it that I'm going to do, you know, to respond to the negativity? You understand? It's just to keep quiet, you know. Silence yourself, just observe, let them do the talkings, and then you act. And then it was just like that, you understand? So what I'm trying to say is that from young, I already knew what I want in life, you know, how I want to live my life, you understand? So it was pretty easy for me to get into the world stage and then look at everyone and be like saying, oh, she looks like that, you know, she's more like a man. Yeah, of course. What's the case? You know, at the end of the day, I'm a woman. If you want to categorize, then categorize. So it's not a big deal for me. But at the end of the day is that I'm an athlete. I perform and I work hard every day. If I were to tell you how I train, and then it would be crazy. It will explain that how I got from, you know, the rurals and then get to the city. You know, it's like 6 days a week, twice a day, you know, and then you wake up 5 a.m. in the morning, you're running, and then you get to go to school, and then you still have to come back afternoon, and then you train. And then there are particular days where you have to train, you know, thrice a day because you want to be the best, you understand?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, my journey is like super crazy.
Yeah.
I'll say that I was just a fearless kid. Even my parents wouldn't intimidate me in terms of, no, Kesta, if you do this, we do that. Now I'll be like, no, I'm going to stay in my lane.
And I think that rhythm of fearlessness has really, really continued. I mean, even through the public scrutiny and the challenges that you've been facing in your sporting career. And I really want to quote you on an interview that you did recently, and being consistent in that messaging. You say, I am an athlete, and I worry about things that I can control. And to that, I really just want to draw some of perhaps the lessons that you've drawn from that, and how that has shaped the athlete that you are right now, the world champion, consistently so, that you are.
I think after all, we all human. We have feelings, you know. So I think for me, things that I've learned as an athlete to be great was just to, you know, accept myself, and then I love myself, and I appreciate myself. And then in that, I learn how to respect people, even if they don't respect me, even if you give me that disrespect. I'm just gonna look into your eye, and then I'll be like, probably doesn't know what he's doing, or she doesn't know what she's doing. But obviously, I had to learn a human behavior. How must I control people, you know, when they do this and that? Obviously, of course, I studied, you know, psychology, you know, more in sports science. I had to learn how to control my emotions. So for me to be able to control everything around the world is just to control myself, which is that I'm best at doing. So which is I cannot respond to mediocrity. I cannot respond to negativity. If somebody, if someone has a problem with me, then to me it's okay because I don't have a problem with them. If you're making me your enemy, so you're not my enemy. You understand? So. You know, I've learned the principle of life on how to treat people with respect and all those things. I think that's what make me, you know, the great athlete I am today, because I can only control, you know, my household, how I feel at that moment, and then I can control on how I respond to people. I'm sure if you follow my social media, you'll be like, is this person even alive? Does he even, you know, get hurt? Of course I get hurt, but then I get hurt for 2 seconds, and then I'll be like, nah.
You heal again. You heal.
It's not worth it, you know, to entertain. So I think it's just more of, you know, being me, you know, being caster, you know, trying to motivate the young ones. Because if I cannot control myself in a limit where I know that there are young girls who want to be, you know, like me. There are young girls who want to achieve something in life. But what I'm selling to them is not fake, you understand? Whatever I'm sending out there, you know, on the social media, it's me. It's completely me. I'm not going to be fake or plastic or something, you understand? I'm just going to be me for them. So to show them that, you know what, if Caster can do it, we can do it, you understand? But then, obviously, they need to learn how to control their emotions, because, you know, as people, there are cruel people out there that are going to control you, that are going to, you know, make you think that you are that person, even if you are not, or that they want you to be somebody who you're not, you understand? And then, if you look into my situation with IAF, these guys were like, okay, we want to control this human being.
Right.
Of course, they've tried, but then they failed. How they failed, they don't know. You understand? And then now they want to get rid of you, which is they cannot get rid of you. You understand? Which is you're still going to remain there. You understand? So with me, it was just a simple thing, because my parents have taught me just to be humble, you know. You know, how I see the world, I should live it. It shouldn't be about someone's perception, you understand? You know, if you want to control yourself, forget about things that other people say, which is, like I said, I cannot control what you think. I cannot control what you guys think, but I cannot control what I think. I can control how I feel. But also, I think, as a human, you need to study yourself. No one should tell you how you should live life, you know, how to do things. I think you should follow your heart, your instincts, because if you can do that, it's very easy to conquer the world. It's very easy, you know, to achieve anything that you want in life. Absolutely. But the minute you start, you know, thinking about other people and say, okay, Caster, maybe if you wear high heels, probably you'll look prettier. If you Caster, you know, you wear skirts, probably you'll look like that. No, that's not how I see myself, you understand? So those are the things that I can control. But then if you're going to talk about laws, you know, rules and regulations, which is I cannot control them because they are established by other human beings, so which is not me. I forget about them, then I focus on me. You understand? So I'm that kind of a human. You may think I don't feel, but though I do feel. So you feel me?
I feel you. The psychology that you studied is definitely coming through in. And I think that going back to the things that you can control, Vice Chancellor of the UCT, Professor Bakeng, she talks about cognitive oppression. And I think that within women, especially in the workplace, being in business, there's a lot of challenges in terms of how do I overcome that, or how do I stand up for myself, or how do I seek all of these opportunities. And I want to link that to the dream that you're dreaming bigger, not only for yourself, but for also young women who are to follow in your footsteps with the Caster Semenya Foundation. Do you want to just track us and just unpack that a bit, and why that impact is incredibly important to you?
I think for me, in the foundation, what we do, we're trying to just empower young girls and boys.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think in everything that you do, you require skills. There are certain skills, very simple skills that you need to require. What I've learned throughout the years, I realized we as people, we lack listening skills and communication skills, which is we still do. That's what we focus more on, on how, to live a simple life, because we fail to perform simple skills. And then we have these high expectations, you want to excel in this, you want to excel in that, while you jump in steps. With us, it's very simple. We work more on basics. Obviously, we build kids, from young.
Yeah.
We look at them, and then we ask them, what is it that you like? What is it that you want to achieve in life? But before you can get to that, this is the platform you need to follow through. Actually, we work through a process, you understand? We test them. Obviously, we try by all means to be on their shoes. Because now I can be cast and say, okay, this is what I've achieved.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they've went through, through their childhood.
Right.
First, emotionally, you need to bond with those kids. You need to know where they're coming from, where they're heading to. Because now, okay, I can take all the kids and say I'm going to put them in my foundation, but I don't know anything about them. You understand? So that's what we're trying to do. We try to create a family, Okay, we always say, for me and my partner, we always say, family is not blood. It's not only blood, but it's only those who are besides you. We try to, by all means, to understand them better. And then, obviously, once we have discovered that, and then we can, follow through the process and then see how we can help them. There are a lot of kids that we know, they don't have shelter. There are a lot of kids that we know, they lack, emotional support.
Right.
Some, they don't even have parents at all. Some, they need, funds, for schools. Some, they just come in, they just love, sports.
Yeah.
But we try to switch that mindset, for them to focus more on education, because I believe that without education, we're nothing. So we try by all means to do that. But to be honest, we're trying to build, those young kids to be, great leaders in future. We teach them, how to make decisions, which is right, which is wrong. But the most importantly, like I said, I always talk about few things. We teach them, how to love themselves, accept themselves, because some of them, they're ashamed of themselves, they're ashamed of their backgrounds. Yeah. We try to switch that, mindset, so they can be great, so they can think in a positive way, not to think about where they're coming from, Some, they've been molested, some they've been, bullied, some, they've been abused. So we try to, rub up those things out. We try to unleash everything, take those out, and then for them to feel loved. At the moment, I'm also in Soweto. I have like about 30 kids that I look after. Most, I don't know their parents, but I try by all means to make sure that, I know their needs, because for me, it's all about the basic needs. Yeah. It's not about wants, because, of course, they can say, I want shoes, I want this, I want that. But if they don't get that love, obviously, for me, I don't feel, fulfilled. So those are the things that we do. And then shifting from that, it's more for in sports where we share, the skills, how to be a great athlete, how to understand yourself, how to understand your body, how does it, react from, overtraining, principle of training, all those things, basics. It's all about basics, actually, because where I'm coming from, I was never taught, how to be a good person. It was just all about, if you want to be great, you do this, you do that. I was never taught, respect, in a professional way,
Right.
how to treat people, how to ignore, the noise, and stuff like that. So that's what we're trying to do, But at the moment, we're quite doing well. We have established it. We didn't have funds at that particular time. I worked on, in my pocket. Okay, I'm not working, but I've tried by all means to make sure that, they get everything that they need. Of course, recently we get, people, coming in with a lot of support. I'm a Nike athlete, which is when it comes to shoes, clothing, and stuff like that, I don't struggle.
Right.
But most of the things, we do it on our own. And then, the kids are happy. Most of them, they come in with numbers. Now most of them, they want to study because they could see that I'm studying and I'm still, studying. I've graduated recently. So it does, help them, to want to see themselves, somewhere in future.
Yeah, absolutely. And you speak so passionately about leadership as well. And what does leadership mean to you? How would you define leadership, and also how it served you in the course of your career?
For me, at first, I didn't really understand, leadership, but then I get to understand that, leadership is it's working with people. For me, in the foundation, I told them I mean nothing. My people means a lot to me, because if I'm leading them, they look up to me and they follow my, my instructions. But I turned it around where they have to make their own decisions, in the foundation, and then to tell me what is the best thing, what are the best things to do, to take us, far. My vision is for people, to just do what they love without, being told what to do. It's not like now you are in my company, no, I have to tell you what to do. No. So for me, leadership is working with people, letting them do what they're best at, at doing. If they're good in, let's say, in a position, I have my partner. She's more into logistics, and she's a treasurer at the moment, but she focuses more in, in logistics. But what I do is that when I get home, I ask her, okay, what were your tasks? What is it that you did that you think will work for, for these kids? You understand? To me, leadership is that when you allow people, doing what they do best, without questioning them.
Absolutely.
As long as there are results, it works. But the minute you come and say, no, this is what you do, you are lazy, and then I'm there hoeing my tantrums, on my workers. That's not leadership.
No.
Leadership is letting people, do their work, in their positions. You may call that. If you have your own position, you just do your work, then you come to me, and then you report, and then I observe, and I tell you if you are doing well, and then I suggest if I think it should be changed. That's leadership. But the minute you want to control, no, that's being a boss.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It is about being servant, right?
Yes,
being
of course.
servant leadership. And I think that, staying on the course of receiving this global platform that you have right now, and having the opportunity to speak passionately about the things that you are impassioned about, gender empowerment, human rights, and being an activist in that space. I'm reading a book currently right now. It's called Tech Adjacent. And he speaks about, the author, Mushambi Muduma, really speaks about technology and how it is hereditary. And I think that also being in this month of women and celebrating women, South Africa, I'd like to think we, inherit as women, we are freedom fighters. I think even looking at movements like Fees Must Fall and how the product of that has also just shifted more young women into parliament and having those sort of leaders into the space. How has, I think for me, in understanding what your dreams or what your hopes are for gender empowerment, for social activism and advocacy with the platforms that you have?
For me, it's always been simple. I think for me, if you want to empower women, it starts first, amongst us. For me, I always have this question that what is it that we are doing, to empower other women? Do we support them just by saying it, or do we support them, physically or emotionally? But for me, I think it starts with love. I think if we love one another, I think that will fulfill me, because since I've been in sports, I've never really felt really supported. I really never felt recognized, mostly by women up until, I do it myself. Right. And then I go and confront most of the women. I say, just by raising, awareness and just saying it through, social media, by voice, it doesn't mean we support each other. Because at the end of the day, if you want to empower young women, you need to go do it in the right way. First, we need to structure a forum, probably establish a forum where all women, we come together. You understand? We contribute whatever we have in that forum, so all these young women, can benefit from it. Because at the end of the day, now I can say, okay, I support women. Okay, now I'm saying it, I support women. Yeah. And then it ends there. What is it that I do, going back to my village? And investing. Invest, in those girls. It can be there, in the social media. But if we don't do it physically, if we don't do it like that, I don't feel like we do support each other. You understand? So we should show that love, way in physical. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. The reason why I say that is because I know where I'm coming from. I've been in that industry for 10 years. And then there's one company, that, established by women that have been supporting me, through all of the years. And they don't need anything from me. What they need from me is to do exactly the same that they are doing to me, which is what I'm trying to do, back then. I'm trying by all means to make sure that if I see a young girl, does not have running shoes, or they don't have they don't have sanitary towels, and they don't have funds to go to school. I do that. So I think if we can come together as women, and then we establish an organization that will mainly focus on those girls, not us achieving from it. Here we're not talking about the spotlight of, okay, Caster Semenya has donated this and that. No. Just to change their lives. Yeah. You understand? It's not about us. It's about them. Absolutely. That's what I call support. But then if I'm going to be standing here and then talking about things that I have done, but there's no results at all of what I've done, to me, it's not support. You understand? Yeah. I would love to see that. And then obviously now we have G Sport, more in sports. Now I'm talking about sports, which is they're doing, a great work. Yeah. But I always tell them it must not only be about the awards that we give to those women. Yeah. It must be, we need to go out there, to the rural areas, even if it's in the city, to see where those girls stays. do these girls, have a shelter? Are they eating? Do they get to school on time? Do they have necessary stuff, for them to, to pursue, their dreams more into, studying? We don't do that. We just go maybe once in a year, we donate, but we don't follow through. You understand? So, but for me, if we can do that every day, I call that support, and then I call that empowering women. But if I go once in a while, then what about those other 20 days? What about other 3 months? You get what I'm saying?
I do. I feel you.
So for me, if we were to support, those young girls, it needs to be, daily bread, daily basis. You have to check on them every day. If they're doing well, then I'll say you are a really mentor, and then you are really empowering someone. You're changing someone's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on you actually sticking to your word and committing to financially investing and economically empowering women. And I think also the tail end of that is empowering girls.
Yeah.
You are an investor in Princess D Cups as well.
Yeah.
And I want you to talk to me about making that decision to actively invest in that business, and also the byproduct of that social investment and what it's done for the community that it's been intended for.
From the communities that I've been, going around, and then we have distributed the product. It is a life changing because, of course, this is more of a business, and then you look into market.
Yeah.
But with the menstrual cup, I've got into a realization that if I were to buy, those products, to the young girls, in the rurals, they don't have to get to, to go to school worrying about, being dirty, stuff like. They don't have to change the product, time and again. For them, when they use that, it's like about almost 4 to 5 hours, with the product, which is good. Then you can be able to do whatever you want to do. You can swim, you are in class, you're sitting, and you have that focus. So for me, it was just all about that because I'm coming from a rural areas. I've seen, things happen, Also my sisters, then I get to a point where I say, okay, I think this is a great product, to put hand in. And then go distribute it more into the rural areas where I know if I buy one for one girl, I know it will last them for 10 years, which is good. It's a great product. I don't have to go back, every day and say I give them, sanitary towels. But when I give them that one product, is there for almost till they're teenagers. So it was good. And then most of those girls, it has changed their lives. It has been great. You ask them about, do you miss, school? They don't miss school at all. So, which is, it has been great. But mostly, it was just all about, just changing, the environment, make it neat. Because I've realized that when I walk into the toilets with the sanitary towels, which is, I'm not trying to talk bad about it. It's just a change of, an environment. Yeah. You go to the toilets, you find that there will be a smell, but with the cup, you just rinse it and then reuse it again. Right. You understand? Right. So, which is, those are the main reasons why I joined force with it, and then I wanted to learn more about it. The more I learned about it, I thought, no, this is a product that can change lives. So yeah.
And what are some of the lessons being in business, being an investor? Because it's not only just about the financial return, but it's also about the socioeconomic and, as you mentioned, the environmental impact that you have. So what are some of the lessons that you've drawn in being this investor who is empowering women across the continent?
What I've learned in business. You can never, be successful in 2 days. I get to learn that once you get into business, you need to be very, very patient. And then obviously I have to learn, about, marketing and stuff like that, which is, it's not my field, but, I have to learn, how to market, the product, Also, myself, how to market myself, you understand? I had to learn, how to do business, I had to learn to know, the worth of me being in the business, and then also what is it that I can do, to change, the environment, more into the young girls, because most of us, we just coming from the rural areas. When we see business, we only see, being a vendor or running a spaza shop, stuff like that. But we don't really know what's really going on, into details, into business. Their legal point of view, there's stuff where you really need to stop everything. You need to go do it yourself and stuff like that. I think it was just more of a growth, trying to be a successful, athlete, and then be a successful businesswoman, and then also try to go back and plow back, to the community, establish, maybe markets, because it's all about creating jobs for me. I thought if I have this, there will be people, working, under the, the company. Obviously, I'll be changing lives, because as we see now in South Africa, jobs, it's very hard to find a job. Obviously, if I can, try, to be in the business, I could also change that, and I could create, job opportunities, which is, I think, is a great thing to do.
Right, absolutely. And I think, how many women entrepreneurs do we have in the building today? You could just raise your hand. So here is an investor, ladies and gentlemen, who is being very intentional about investing in women and women-owned businesses as well. I want to come to something that you said in the recent Nike ad that you is now also an award-winning commercial that it is. You say, firstly, it comes with me appreciating and loving myself. And across your journey as well, as you've so beautifully explained, that, being this record smasher that you are and being this ambitious woman that you are, is there anything that you would have done differently? Because you seem to have done everything with so much intent.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Something that I don't think it could have been something that there's something that I could have done differently, because look, I'm an athlete, and maybe I might be lying a bit, because I mentioned,
Tell the truth.
earlier that I loved the army. I wanted to be a soldier. Probably I had to choose. If I were to be in army, probably I could have been maybe with Navy, or I could have been, more into real army, where, I save lives. I have to go, to the refugee camps. Maybe I go out there, fight for my country. Probably if I wasn't an athlete, or probably playing soccer, I could have been more, into army. I could have been a soldier. Probably, I could have been a special agent, because I like challenges. Probably I could have been a spy. I don't know. No, I like army movies, I like what those guys do. Or probably I could have been a sniper. I don't know. But if I wasn't doing this at all, if I wasn't in sports, I think I could have been in army. So I love army with all my heart. I still have that room for army. I'm still, considering, to go probably join, army. Probably I could be training them, which is because now I've realized guns are very dangerous.
Yes.
Yes. But if you were to talk about something different, it could have been army.
And as we're talking about the future of the things that you're wanting to venture into, if we're looking at, let's say, the next 10 years, what are the dreams that you're perhaps more investment in more women-owned businesses, or a bigger dream and vision for the foundation in itself? Or retiring into athletics?
Retiring is not an option at the moment. I'm still like 28. So I think I still have 10 years of career. Okay, I might be a little bit stopped from running now, but it's just a temporary thing, Okay, let's talk about serious things now.
Yes.
Okay, I have a club, Masai Athletics Club, which is doing great. We established it last year, and then it is already number 2 in the province, behind Tax, which is it has been massive. Which is, of course, we trying by all means to give opportunities to people who cannot that does not get privileged to run for those big clubs. Which is we just give them a home. It can be social runners. It doesn't matter, you name it. And then the club is doing well, which is I cannot really touch base on it because most performance-wise. And then obviously foundation. We do have goals that we need to reach, which is also, of course, the foundation has been there for years. I've established it, 10 years ago, and I've been doing my work silently because I'm a very private person, and then talking about me, I'm a very talented athlete, if I may say. I have,
You are a very talented athlete. Even we say, I'm sure.
Okay, if we were to talk about, running, my plan is to run till I'm like 35, which is, we still have marathon, we still have Comrades Marathon if we were to go a little bit crazy, and then do it.
We like crazy, don't we? We do.
And then there's still soccer. I think I still have unfinished business with playing soccer, which is probably I'll be doing it. Rugby, they still want me in for sevens. Probably, I'm still thinking about it.
Multi-talented, eh?
And then cricket. It's one of the sports that I played from young, which is also I just want to experiment something. I just want to put something different, in women's cricket.
Right.
Those top 3 sports, I think those are things that I could be doing in 10 years. But running, I'm not giving up yet.
Not just yet.
I'm still there, man. I still feel young. My body can still tell me that, look, you can still go more and more.
Yeah.
If Maria went 20 years, about 21 years, I can still do almost 30 years because for me, I'll still upgrade to marathon. So you should watch out for that.
Yeah, okay. Watch out. Awesome. So we had a question creep in from the CEO of Topco, Ralph Fletcher, and his focus was really on entrepreneurship, right? And the hope that you have for women entrepreneurs in South Africa, especially given this type of platform where there is the networking that's taking place, there is the opportunity for perhaps you to invest in a couple of the businesses, being the investor that you are. But what are the hopes that you have for female entrepreneurs in South Africa?
My hobby will be for them, to go back, like Ms. Motsepe said, going back to, humble beginnings.
Yeah.
I think it needs to start, from where we're coming from. For me, where I'm coming from, I was never, taught anything about career choice. I grew up, just being cast down. Just wanting to run, that's all. Sports, I think it was just the only thing that, made sense to me. No one has ever came into the village and then, come with the workshops, try to develop, these young ones, more on how, if you want to be a successful businesswoman, these are the steps, to follow.
Yeah.
My hobby will be, for me, going back there, just to raise awareness, to all the teachers, because obviously it starts from, high school, to teach, those skills, mainly more on career choice, more being specific, to study, something that, you really love, and then you understand, and then you have passion for it. I think it starts from there. If we can build them from there, and then it becomes easy, when it comes to, how to be a great, entrepreneur. What are the steps, that you need to follow, into running, a successful businesswoman. No, sorry, not woman, business.
Yes. Okay.
And what is it that you need to do? How to invest. I think is very important because capital is very, very, very important. If you want to establish business, I think you need to start more on investing. Enough money. So you cannot struggle.
Yeah.
And then comes people you associate yourself with. You need to gather right people to to advise you also on how to run those businesses, because most of us we just love business, but we don't really have skills, and then we don't have really have such expertise into running that. I think if we go back and then teach those young girls more how to be successful businesswomen, and also how to lead, I think it will help a lot. Then we will have such great leaders and such great entrepreneurs. I think that's the only solution. If they are not taught from young, I don't think you can be great. You will struggle a bit. It will take you time, to reach that level, to run any business or to lead anyhow. Yeah.
And in the final moments that we have, I really want to just wrap up with a truth that you believe, and a truth that you've been given the opportunity to communicate and continuously spread regarding empowering women in Africa, empowering young women and girls as well. What is that one message that you have to someone who's perhaps reading the tweets that you are reading, or the adverts that you are part of, the awards that you're receiving? What is that one message as we're wrapping up that you want the world to really know and believe?
I think it's a very, very simple. It starts from believing in yourself. I think if you start believing, you can achieve anything. And then obviously, like I said, you need to have passion for everything that you do. You need to have love for it. But mostly, I think you need to respect yourself, as a human. If you want people to respect you and take you seriously. And then obviously success, it comes with knowledge and then being matured. If you are willing to learn every day, and then if you are willing to accept, your mistakes, and then move on, and then you just forgive and forget, I think you can be great in everything that you do. But it comes only with belief. If you believe in yourself, you can conquer anything.
Absolutely.
So that's what, has helped me a lot, as a young girl. Okay, I still feel young.
You are very young.
Very, very young. And I still believe that, I still have a mountain to climb. And I think I still believe that I still have a lot to offer, to my people. There's still a lot of things that, I still need to achieve. But mostly it comes with, right decision making, and then learning every day. And then obviously the most important thing is education. Any young girl or any young boy, if you're not educated, and then you're gonna have a lot of problems, in future or growing up, because you're going to feel like no one is taking you seriously, because now it's all about educating yourself, learning more about obviously I'll say one thing: you need to own something, you need to own something so you can be better. So also to create job opportunities for others, because what I've learned now, most of people, we do not learn how to own. We learn how to work for others.
Right.
I think if we as young women and young boys, if we can learn to establish, our own empire, we build, our own brands, I think it will be easy, in coming years. And then that, okay, there's something that I own, and then I can also create, opportunities for others.
Right.
You understand? And then
Right.
those young girls and young boys, they will see that, okay, I think now it's no longer about going, studying, BCom or studying engineering. It's all about studying those things, though you can establish your own thing that you can also, create opportunities for others. I believe that if you own something,
Yeah.
you can get somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time and getting us the opportunity to engage and, of course, tap into the world that is Caster Semenya. And good luck with all your future ventures. And thank you again so much for joining us.
Thank
Ladies
you.
and gentlemen,
Thank you for having me.
please give a warm
So-
round of applause as we exit on stage.
Thank you.
World champion, Olympic gold medalist, businesswoman and activist,
thank
Mokgadi
you.
Caster Semenya.